Thank you. How many of you have ever told yourself that you cannot do something? That it is simply too hard and it is not for you? That there's no way you could ever be a math learner? That you could ever run a marathon? How many of you have ever compared yourself to someone and felt inferior to them because they were smart and you weren't? Because it seemed to come easy to them and not you? Chances are these questions resonate with most of us. And today I'm here to challenge you to believe that a shift in your mindset can open a gateway to accomplishing your goals, reaching your maximum potential, and shaping your life as a learner. Well, in the fall of 2012, I declared majors in education and mathematics here at Grand Valley. It wasn't long after that I realized the math courses were difficult for me. I became an insecure student, just barely getting by. Semesters went on, and I continued to feel like a failure and a fraud. How could I teach students math when I myself struggle? I must just not be a math person, and therefore I am not going to be a good teacher. I should just quit now. Besides, everyone in my classes are really smart, and I am sick of looking like a fool. But with my morale so low, I even spoke with an advisor and decided that I was going to switch my major the following semester. Fortunately, my mindset shifted by the end of the semester. This is credited to the fact that I was exposed to the work of Carol Dweck, a world-renowned researcher in the areas of social and developmental psychologies. Dweck discovered that those with a fixed mindset, people who believe that intelligence and potential are fixed, are less likely to flourish than those with a growth mindset, those who believe intelligence can be developed and maximum potential can be reached. Further, she expresses the importance of making mistakes and how brain malleability allows for growth when failures occur, thus making mistakes a critical component to brain development. Well, after watching her TED Talk and reading her books, I came to the realization that I had a fixed mindset. I was just not a strong math student yet. And with a shift in my mindset, I could accomplish my goal of earning a degree in math. Well, thanks to Dweck and the researchers and professors that emulated her beliefs that semester, just over a year ago, I graduated with a degree in education and math. The key to my success, though, was not just resilience, effort, or focus. No, it was the growth mindset that created them. But that was just the first obstacle. Now, an even greater challenge. How could I pass on these philosophies to my students? And how could I help them to overcome the greatest challenge they will ever face? Self-doubt. This is my first year teaching. I teach third grade at Edgewood Elementary, a low-income school in the Fruitport Community School District of Muskegon County. I started the school year the way any first-year teacher would, eager and determined to positively impact the lives of my students. I knew I wanted to introduce them to the importance of a growth mindset right away. So I did what any good-intentioned teacher would do. I made a colorful bulletin board. There, I thought, I've done it. I have saved our younger generation from the perils of a fixed mindset. I have created this visual that illustrates the research of Dweck. As you can see, the dull left side of the board expresses statements that would be made by someone with a fixed mindset. I quit. I can't do it. I'll never be as smart as my friends. In contrast, the vibrant right side of the board, expressing a growth mindset with statements such as, is this my best work? I can do it, and I just don't know it yet. I soon found that introducing the visual was not enough. Go figure. But why were they not quickly adopting the philosophy? Well, for one, this was all new to them, as it had been to me. It's not easy to change one's mindset. It's a change in which one has to get out of their comfort zone. And it was not going to be as easy as me just proclaiming it. No, I had to own it and model it daily. For example, with the language I use. No longer are the days of simply telling a student that they are smart or that a grade defines them, but rather responding to students' mistakes and failures as learning opportunities. I had to take the journey in creating this mindset culture with them. It's a journey that we are still on in room 25. Students are still learning from their mistakes, and I'm focused on the process of growth-oriented teaching. Every day has its challenges, but with a growth mindset, I accept the obstacles we have not yet cleared and celebrate the growth we have made thus far. Consider this story of one of my students, who we will call John. John perfectly embodies the precocious fixed mindsetter, making him a challenge for me since day one. Most directions I give, especially in math, are followed up by a, "This is stupid. Why do we have to do this? I quit." So, you can imagine his level of disdain when I announced we would be taking the MAP math test, a standardized test taken triannually to measure student growth. When he sat down to take it this winter, he immediately called out, "Ugh, this is stupid, we already took this at the beginning of the year." Although I have my own opinions when it comes to standardized tests, I knew this was important to see the growth he had made in math since the beginning of the year, which I was hoping was at least something, considering he spent most math classes slumped over pouting. Well, were the lessons in a growth mindset enough for him to see this as a learning opportunity? No. His mindset was so low that he raced through the questions, clicking submit before fully reading through them, and ultimately scored lower than he had in the fall. Although my blood was about to boil, I knew there was more that I could do in order for him to feel successful. I decided to let him retake the exam the following day, once he had cooled down. John and I sat down and conferenced, highlighting the growth he had made so far this year. I assured him that this was not for a grade, and I just cared to see his growth. I was intentional with the words I used and the way I praised him, knowing that students need honest and constructive feedback. We talked about the ways in which he had failed in the past, and we set a goal together. I assured him that although he felt he could not do it, he just couldn't do it yet, not until his mindset changed. I shared with him my journey as a math student, how I had failed time and time again, but how my mistakes did not define me, but made me a stronger learner. Well, John did end up retaking the test, scoring 25 points higher than the day before, which is the equivalent of more than 2 grade levels of growth since the beginning of the year. He had overcome his own self-doubt, reached his goal, and was able to celebrate that growth. While I have spoken to you today from the lens of a student and an educator, a growth mindset is essential in all domains of our lives, from relationships to business to parenting. We cannot reach our full potential until we get out of our comfort zone. Only in a state of discomfort can we continually grow. How will you use your mindset to shape your life as a learner? Thank you.